Hi everybody, I'm glad you're here. I love doing these videos. I've learned so much about the connection between Jesus and the New and the Old Testament. It's just amazing. You can see my old videos if you want to by going to www.bethelwindsor.com and then click on down below. You'll see video devotions on the very bottom of the first page. Click on that and you'll see all the ones that I've done so far all lined up. So you could do that if you want. But today we move into the book of Joshua. Now, Joshua, the word Joshua means the Lord saves, and it's the same root word for Jesus. So Joshua, Jesus, very close, very similar in their meaning. Jesus means saves, God saves. So at this time, though, this is a fun story because it tells you so much more what faith and dependence on God means for us. Because in this story, you remember when the Israelites left Egypt, they came to the Promised Land and they sent spies in, and the spies came back and said, "Oh, it's just too much for us. We can't do it." And so God realized that they didn't have enough faith in Him, and sent him in the wilderness for another 40 years till a whole generation died out. And now Moses is dead, I should probably say Moses is with the Lord, because we know that we see Moses on the mount when Jesus is transfigured. So we know he's not really dead. He's with the Lord, which is a neat thing for us to remember ourselves. But now they come back to the Promised Land after 40 years of wandering, and they send spies in again. But this time, this group of people trusted and believed in God because they depended on Him for 40 years just to survive in the wilderness. So, listen to this from Joshua chapter 2, verse 1. Then Joshua secretly sent out 2 spies from the Israeli camp at Archaea Grove. He instructed them, "Scout out the land on the other side of the Jordan River, especially around Jericho." So the 2 men set out and came to the house of a prostitute named Rahab and stayed there that night. So Rahab puts up these she's not Jewish, puts up these Jewish spies. And then what happens next is the soldiers from Jericho come, and they are from this land. I don't know if it's Jericho, but they come to Rahab and say, "Hey, we think there's spies in the house." And she goes, "Oh no, they were here, but they've now left. You can probably catch them. They've gone through the gate just a while ago, just before it closed, so you might try and catch them." So off they run after these spies when they're actually hiding upstairs on the top of Rahab's house. Now, here's the neat thing about God. He uses all kinds of people, even prostitutes. Because if you look at Mark, and also in the Gospel of Matthew at the very beginning, there's a genealogy of Jesus. Guess who's mentioned in the genealogy? Rahab, because later in our story she actually becomes in the line of the Messiah. And so here, doesn't God use the marginal people? I mean, it's like the whole Israeli nation is a marginal people. But God uses all of us marginal people because if we depend on Him, it doesn't matter how marginal we are. We can do amazing things like Rahab did, like all the people of the Old Testament. Every one of them has a major flaw. But in the Lord's hands, they can be molded and used in powerful ways. The same is true for you. In the Lord's hands, you will and can be used by God in powerful ways, not because you have the strength, but because God has the strength, and God can do it. So let's learn from these Israelites who spent 40 years that they didn't need to spend if they had just trusted God at the beginning. But after 40 years of trusting God, learned that they could trust God. So these spies come back and they go, "No problem. We can take care of them. With God's help, God by our side, we can occupy this land. And of course, they do. They occupy this land. And same is true in your life, that it doesn't depend on how great you are, how talented you are, how educated you are. It depends on how willing you are to trust God in all situations, no matter what they are. And we can do that through the power of the Holy Spirit, and because Jesus died for us on the cross. So we have Joshua, means it saves his people, and we have Jesus, who definitely saves his people. I hope you have a great day. Hope you remember this in everything you do today, and God bless you. Take care. Bye.